I'm joined now by the President of the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies, David Ossip. David, thank you for your time. Look, I want to speak about this incident that we all woke up to today. What do we know so far about what happened in the early hours of this morning?
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, Sharri. And at the outset, let me just congratulate you on your outstanding editorial and your extraordinary reporting over the past 14 months.
Thank you,
In
David.
relation to the incident which transpired in Woollahra overnight, we know that at least 2 individuals in the early hours of the morning drove to Woollahra, got out of their vehicle, daubed houses and cars with anti-Semitic graffiti, and then set their car on fire and cowardly fled the scene. Obviously, the police are still investigating. We welcome the resources that the New South Wales government and police have thrown at this investigation, and we hope that the perpetrators who are responsible for this hate crime are swiftly apprehended in the same way that the individuals who allegedly committed a similar crime in Woollahra a couple of weeks ago were apprehended.
You held a press conference with the Premier Chris Minns this morning, but I noticed you weren't at the Holocaust Museum this afternoon with Albanese. Are we seeing a tale of two leaders here?
Sharri, you are correct. I was with the Premier this morning. I didn't attend the Jewish Museum with the Prime Minister. Whilst I have the greatest of respect for the Office of Prime Minister, and I'm grateful for the money which they've given the Sydney Jewish Museum, I couldn't bring myself to go and hear the Prime Minister talk about anti-Semitism whilst his government continues to plot further policy moves against the State of Israel, and whilst he fails to rein in his Foreign Minister, who continues to use incendiary, demonising and provocative rhetoric, which in my opinion endangers the Jewish community. And you're entirely right, it is very much a tale of two leaders, because the response of Chris Minns and the state government couldn't have been any stronger. He was on the phone to me in the early hours of the morning. He expressed solidarity with the Jewish community. He called the Israeli ambassador. He immediately coordinated additional security resources for the community. And he dropped everything on his plate to go to Woollahra immediately to demonstrate his absolute abhorrence at what had taken place. And this has been the approach he's demonstrated over the past 14 months. He's been there every single time, strong and unequivocal, standing side by side with the Jewish community. And I think the Prime Minister and his colleagues would do very well to learn from Premier Minns.
That was a very strong answer, David Ossip. How frustrated is the Jewish community at this point with the Albanese government, including, and you mentioned Penny Wong and her criticism of Israel. So what's your view on this as well?
Well, I think the Jewish community is extremely frustrated and upset. This is a federal government which has sat on its hands and been slow to act on anti-Semitism for the whole of the past 14 months. It's a government which has seemed more determined to demonise and abandon Israel and play domestic politics than deal with the crisis of social cohesion and anti-Semitism, which has festered on its watch. It's a situation which has gotten worse, not better, and now, after 14 months, we're at a crisis point. And the Jewish community has been jumping up and down and warning the government throughout this period, and it's not a surprise that we've now landed up in a position like this. And the Jewish community is understandably very disappointed with the government and concerned about their safety and well-being.
Yeah, indeed. All right, David Ossip, President of the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies, really appreciate your leadership of our community at this very difficult time. Thank you.